تعالى. المنزه عن كل نقص, right? اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. So we mentioned the word Allah for the Aqidah scholars. They say علم على الذات الواجب الوجود المستحق لجميع المحامد المتصف بكل كمال المنزه عن كل نقص. A proper noun for the being, that the being or the essence, whose existence is absolutely necessary, and he deserves all praise, and he is free from all types of imperfection or deficiency. And this you will see it in Ayatul Kursi. It will show you how some of the examples that, for example, لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم, neither slumber nor sleep can overtake him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He doesn't becomes drowsy or sleepy, right? Or tired or anything that is of the human qualities, right? Why? Because he is free from any imperfection, free from any deficiency. This is why he is the only one who deserves to be worshipped, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And muttasif bikulli kamal, he is described with all types of perfection in everything, in his essence, fi dhatihi, in his attributes, fi sifatihi, and in his actions, fi af'alihi. Please add this also restriction or this addition, that he has all perfection and free from all types of imperfection. In what? In his essence, in his attributes, and in his actions, subhanahu wa ta'ala. في ذاته وفي صفاته وفي أفعاله. Just like his wahdaniyah, his oneness, tawheed. He is one in his essence, in his attributes, and in his actions. Same thing when we talk about wahdaniyah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, same thing. He is one in his essence, in his dhat, and in his sifat, and in his af'al. In his essence, in his attributes, and in his actions, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we said, is the word Allah, is it derived or underived?
Derived.
Huh?
It depends.
We mentioned there are two opinions, right? Like Imam al-Shafi'i and Imam al-Juwayni, Imam al-Haramain, and some others like Sibawayh, one of the greatest scholars of the Arabic language. What do they say? They say it's not derived. It is like this. It doesn't have a root. It is a name, a proper name for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It doesn't have any root. It is like this. But the others, they said no, it is derived. And they mentioned many roots for this word, Allah. And we mentioned this in detail. Inshallah, you can watch it. You can watch it on YouTube or on Facebook. Actually, on YouTube, it has just been completed. So it has just been published, because I needed to take some part for the Facebook, some part from the video that was recorded for the YouTube, and I merged them so that, because the YouTube live sometimes it disconnects. So alhamdulillah, we have now a spare tool. So we mentioned that the word Allah, we are still talking about the first root of the word Allah. They said the word Allah it means what? Al-Ilah. And now we are talking about the different roots of the word Ilah. Ilah means the Ilah, right? Al-Ilah means the Ilah. So the word Ilah, what does the word Ilah mean? We said the first root is what? From where? Alaha ya'lahu. Like abada ya'budu. So alaha ya'lahu. What's the masdar? Like qara'a yaqra'u. What's the masdar? Qira'atan. Or Qur'anan. قرأ يقرأ قراءة or قرآنا. The gerund is Qur'anan or qira'atan, both of them. And focus here, I brought this example so that you can compare it with the word ilah, so that you understand it. Qara'a, he read. Yaqra'u, he reads. Qira'atan is the reading. Or they say Qur'anan. They say qira'atan and they say Qur'anan. What's the proof in the Qur'an for this meaning? فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ, when we read it, فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ or قِرَاءَتَهُ, قُرْآنَهُ, which means قِرَاءَتَهُ, same thing. So when we read it, just follow and listen to its reading or to its recitation. This is an address to our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because when he was getting the wahy, he would read very fast, very fast. He was afraid that the Quran will run away from him. So Allah told him, don't worry. When we read it, means when our angel read it, just listen. فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا بَيَانَهُ. So إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا جَمْعَهُ وَقُرْآنَهُ فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَهُ, right? ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا بَيَانَهُ. Then we will compile it for you. إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا جَمْعَهُ وَقُرْآنَهُ. We will compile it and we will read it to you. Then we will even explain it to you. Allahu Akbar. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guaranteed this to His beloved sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So قَرَأَ يَقْرَأُ قِرَاءَةً and قُرْآنًا. Then what is the maf'ul? This is the gerund, right? Which means the reading. But the Quran is the reading or the read? Is it the recital, as some people say, the recital, or the recited? The recited, right? The Quran is not the recital, it is the recited. But how come they used the word Quran, which is gerund, for the word for the Quran, which is recited? We mentioned, this is the same thing we mentioned about the word ilah. This, when the Arabs used the masdar in the position of the maf'ul, this gives you an emphasis and exclusiveness that this is the recited one. This is the one that deserves to be recited. This is the one that is worthy of being recited. Tamam? So in the normal, by default, it should be maqru', not Quran. Right? Maqru'. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word Quran. It is the recited one. And subhanAllah, look in the world. There's no book that is more recited than the Quran. Right? There's no book that is more recited than the Quran. So it is the recited. It is the recitation. Subhanallah. That is for Quran. So you got the point? قَرَأَ يَقْرَأُ قِرَاءَةً or قُرْآنًا. It should be مقروء, but we used what? Quran. It is the recitation. It is the recited. Now look at the word alaha. Alaha. Ya'lahu. What is the maf'ul? What should the maf'ul be? Who knows? The maf'ul, what should it be by default? Yes, try it. Huh? Maf'ul, it should be on the form maf'ul. What is it? Ma'luh. Right? By default, or the standard rule, it should be ma'luh. Means ma'bud, worshipped. But instead of saying ma'luh, what do they say? What do the Arabs say? They don't say ma'luh, what do they say? Ilah. Alaha ya'lahu ilahan wa ilahatan. Both. Ilahan wa ilahatan. Like Qur'anan wa qira'atan. So why they use the gerund, which is ilahan, for the maf'ul? We mentioned this last time. Huh? What for?
For emphasis.
Emphasis and exclusiveness. That He is the ibadah Himself. He is the worship. Right? This is the literal meaning. Means He's the worshipped one only. When you mention worship, it is for Allah. When you talk about the ilah, it is Allah only. Subhanallah. This is just from the Arabic grammar. You get this amazing meaning that when you say ilah, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We talked about ibadah, right? And ibadah is the greatest relationship between two beings. Is there a greater relationship than ibadah, worship? And the reason I'm saying this is that we are existent so that we fulfill this relationship. Please take note of this. We are present in this world so that we fulfill this relationship of ibadah, right or no? What's the proof? What's the proof? Today we mentioned it in the Arabic class. Huh? Say Iyaka na'budu. First ayah in the Quran that talks about ibadah is in the first surah. In the first surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you, reminding you that you should be worshipping Him alone. Iyaka, you alone we worship. And we mentioned this in Surah Al-Fatiha, tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha in details. Iyaka na'budu, you alone we worship. Wa iyaka nasta'in, and you alone we seek for help in worshipping you and in everything else. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Who can tell me the other ayah that is very clear about this meaning? That Allah created the jinn and the ins for nothing but to worship Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Surah Al-Dhariyat. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have not created the jinn. Do they say the jinns? Do they make this plural this way or they keep it jinn? The jinn. I have not, and they say jinni in singular. Do they use the word jinni? Huh? No, jinni. Okay, I read it in one of the Oxford dictionaries. I remember the dictionary itself. It's called jinni. They don't use it. So what is the closest word for jinn that these people use? Jinn. They understand it? They understand it? Not Muslims. I'm talking about non-Muslims. Jinn. Okay, good. So I have not created the jinn and the humans illa liya'budu, except that they worship me. Except that they worship me. So our presence in this world is to fulfill this relationship of ibadah, of making ourselves slaves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, submissive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here liya'budun, by the way, we mentioned it, I don't know, one time we mentioned it, that it means in some of the tafsir, it means so that they know me. So when they know me, the result is that they will worship me. And I think this is the precise meaning. Liya'budun, it doesn't mean that Allah created us so that because He needs that we worship Him. Of course not, right? That's absolutely not correct, right? He does not need our worship, right? We need Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So liya'budun means so that the result of knowing me is that they will worship me. And this is the main rule that you need to keep in your mind. First of all, this is why the scholars of Aqidah, they said the first obligation is to know Allah. معرفة أول واجب على المكلف معرفة الله. The first obligation is to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you know Him, you will absolutely love Him and worship Him and obey Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also in this regard, before we go on the word ilah, let's inshallah take as many benefits as we can that are very related to our life. And this is very common disease, let me say. When you remind people about ibadah and worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or you remind them about things that will draw them close to Allah, right away they mention, I'm busy, business, I have work, I have to study, right? I have to go somewhere, I have, right? Look, this amazing point here. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I have not created the jinns and the ins except that they worship me. What's the next ayah, ya Shaykh? What's the next ayah? ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون. Just today, when I wrote this ayah, I got the connection. I was not aware of it. I was not aware of this connection, which is extremely important. Right after telling you that you are created so that you worship me. You are for me. You are for me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you that you are for Him, as if He's telling you this. You are for Him. You are not a servant for this world. This is why in some of the traditions, in some of the books, they mention that Allah says, that, O child of Adam, خلقت الدنيا من أجلك فلا تتعب وخلقتك من أجلي فلا تلعب. I created this world for you, so don't overburden yourself. And I created you for me, so don't play around. One more time. O child of Adam, خلقت الدنيا من أجلك فلا تتعب. I created this world for you, so don't overburden yourself. Don't get drowned in this worldly life. وخلقتك من أجلي فلا تلعب. I created you for me, so don't play around. Right? This is the fact, right? Subhanallah. So he's telling you, subhanahu wa ta'ala, right after this ayah, ما أريد منهم من رزق. I do not want any sustenance from them. I do not want them to provide anything for me. I do not need them in anything. وما أريد أن يطعمون. I do not want them to feed me. Because he's in no need, subhanahu wa ta'ala, of anything. He does not need anything. He does not eat, does not drink, does not need these things, right? Does not need you, does not need your worship. ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون إن الله هو الرزاق. Surely Allah is the provider. He is the provider. You want to provide for Him? He's telling you, I am the provider, so don't get drowned in business and work and study and whatever, and forget about your main purpose in this life. Right? Look at this connection, subhanallah. And this is really, look at many people, why they're leaving worship. Sometimes he leaves salah, he does not fast, he does not do this. Why? Always you find business, work, right? Business, work, I'm busy, I have work, I have this, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you the answer right away. Right away. ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون إن الله هو الرزاق ذو القوة المتين. Did you get these three ayat? This is tafsir of these three ayat. Is enough for today, inshallah. Surah Al-Dhariyat. وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعموني إن الله هو الرزاق ذو القوة المتين. ذو القوة المتين. He is the one who possesses all power. He is the one who is the strongest, subhanahu wa ta'ala. ذو القوة المتين, subhanahu wa ta'ala. The strongest, the strong, subhanahu wa ta'ala. ذو القوة, the one of power, the possessor of power, right? Or strength. سبحانه وتعالى ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون إن الله هو الرزاق ذو القوة المتين. We will stop here inshallah because I have another class and the time is over, and inshallah this is more than enough of a reminder for us to remember that our purpose here in this life is to worship Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I don't want you to misunderstand this concept. And this is why the next point right away is a general definition of ibadah, which will remove, inshallah, some of the confusion that some Muslims have, which is thinking that when they go to work, that is not ibadah. So when I'm talking about drowning in this world or in business, that is dispraised when it contradicts your main purpose or your, let's say, main obligations, right? So when you are distracted from your main obligations, from your main purpose the main purpose of your presence in this life, then yes, that work and that business is dispraised, right? But when you are taking your portion without being negligent on your main religious obligations, then that work in itself might be also another type of worship when it is done for the sake of Allah. That is the full picture. And this is the next point that we're going to mention, inshallah, which is the major definition of ibadah, which is what? Every word or action. Every word or action, whether apparent, whether internal or external, that you do seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One more time. Every word and action that you do, whether outwardly or inwardly, like inwardly, like sincerity, like those types of actions, right? Any word or action that you do inwardly or outwardly, seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anything that comes under this definition is type of ibadah. But this is what the broader, if you like, or the broadest, can you see the broadest?
The most broad.
The most broad definition of ibadah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all of our words and actions purely for His sake and purely to seek His pleasure subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you understand this, you can make all of your actions as type of ibadah. How you do that? This is what we will mention inshallah next time. That how can you turn your normal actions into a type of ibadah that you can earn the rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How? By the sincere intention. By putting the intention in every action. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all of our intentions purely to seek His pleasure subhanahu wa ta'ala and seek His reward. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our negligence and overlook our sins and give relief to the brothers and sisters who are suffering everywhere. صلى الله على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين جزاكم الله خيرا.